everyone, welcome back to another numeracy video. Today we're going to be learning all about using percentages in retail. Let's first talk about the meaning of percentage. A percentage is part of a whole. When represented in percentage form, a whole is 100%, which means 100 out of 100. Or you can think of it as all of something. So when we take a look at some examples of percentages, we can see 25% means 25 out of 100, which makes the fraction 25 over 100. Fractions can also be used to do division, which we'll take a look at in a bit. So then 71% means 71 out of 100, which is this fraction right down here. And 41% means 41 out of 100, or the fraction down below. So now we're going to see how we use fractions and dividing when we look at how to convert percentages into decimals. Let's start with 20%. This is the same as saying 20 out of 100, or the fraction 20 over 100. The line in the middle can be thought of as a division sign. So when we calculate 20 divided by 100, we get 0.2. Same with if we have 35%. That's saying 35 out of 100, and when we calculate 35 divided by 100, we get 0.35. We can also do this with percentages that are over 100. Say we have 110%. This is like saying 110 out of 100. So it's going to be a number that's over one whole. When we do that division, we get 1.1. It's good to understand how to convert percentages to decimals because it can be used when doing calculations involving percentages. Okay, now let's do some examples of scenarios in which you would have to do calculations involving percentages. Scenario 1, you are a new cashier at a grocery store. Your manager tells you that it's possible for one cashier to serve 20 customers per hour, and that your goal should be to reach at least 60% of this. How many customers would you have to serve to meet this goal? To do the math for this scenario, you'd need to calculate 60% of 20. To find this, you need to use multiplication. In other words, 60% of 20 is the same as saying 60% times 20. Like we looked at before, 60% is the same as saying 60 out of 100. And when we do 60 divided by 100, we get 0.6. Now, if we plug that into our math problem, we can see that 60% times 20 is the same as 60 out of 100 times 20. And we just figured out that that's the same as 0.6 times 20. So enter 0.6 times 20 into your calculator, and you get the answer 16. That means that you'd need to serve at least 16 customers within an hour to reach 60% of the goal. Let's look at another scenario. At the store you work at, there's a jacket on sale. The original price for the jacket is $79, but it's discounted by 30%. So for this type of scenario, there's a couple steps. In step 1, we need to figure out what 30% of 79 is. So we do the same thing as before. We would know that it's the same as finding 30% times 79, and we'd figure out that 30% is the same as saying 0.3, because 30 divided by 100 is 0.3. So to calculate 30% of 79, we would put 0.3 times 79 into our calculators, which would give us 23.70. Now, is that our final answer? No, because that's just the amount of the discount. which means the amount taken off of the original price. So now we have to do step 2, which is to calculate the final price of the discounted jacket. To do this, we'd take the original price of $79, then we'd subtract the discount of $23.70, which would get us to the final price of $55.30. Now, there is another way, and even a quicker way, to do this. If you know that the discount is 30% of the whole price, you may realize that that means you're paying for 70% of the original cost, since if we take 30 away from 100%, we're left with 70%. Then you just have to multiply the original price, $79, times 0.7, which would give you the same answer of $55.30. Either way is fine, as long as you get the correct answer in the end. Alright, so let's switch gears a bit and start looking at what types of percentages can be found on receipts, which will come in handy when working with and answering questions from customers. One percentage that we just took a look at was discounts. These occur in situations such as items being on sale or customers having eligible coupons. Normally, you would not have to subtract sale discounts yourself, since they're usually already in the system, and they get taken off automatically when the items are scanned. However, some situations in which you would have to manually enter the discount would be if a customer is using a coupon that doesn't have a barcode to scan, or if the item is not coming up with the correct sale price in the system. So here's an example of a receipt. It has information such as the items purchased, the discounts applied, and totals at the bottom. So first, we can see that the milk this customer purchased was on sale for 20% off. The receipt displays the discount, how much the customer is saving, and the discounted price of the item. Then, at the bottom of the receipt, it will sometimes show the total savings. Here, it adds up all of the money the customer saved on their items and gives a summary of what those savings were in dollars, as well as the overall percentage of money that they saved. Another type of percentage that you'll see on receipts are taxes. In Manitoba, there are two main types of taxes that you'll normally see on receipts. GST, or Goods and Service Tax, which is sometimes referred to as HST, or Harmonized Sales Tax, is 5% of the cost of the items. PST, or Provincial Sales Tax, which is also sometimes called Retail Sales Tax, is 7% of the cost of the items. And I put an asterisk beside both of those numbers because although these are the percentages as of right now, they sometimes change. These taxes are calculated on all non-essential items and then added to the prices to make the final total. A little more about taxes. Sometimes there are tax exemptions too. Items that are considered necessities don't get taxed GST or PST. Essential grocery items are exempt from being taxed. There are also some items that are just exempt from PST, so they get charged GST but save on the 7% PST charge. Infant and children's goods are an example of these types of items. Also, an extra note about that, the child doesn't need to be with the customer to get this exemption on the goods, and the exemption is automatic if the item is specifically for infants or children. If the item is being purchased for a child but is not designated a child's item, so for example, clothing that isn't from the children's department, the customer would need to sign a form stating that the item is for a child. Let's look at the receipt again. Here we can see that all of the items on the receipt are added up to make the subtotal. This is not usually the amount the customer pays, however, because the taxes are added on top of this. For example, GST was only charged on one item, so it was calculated on the price of that item, not the subtotal. And it just so happens that no items on this receipt were eligible to be charged PST, so that amount is 0. The receipt will also indicate if there were any tax exemptions other than the usual exemptions for necessities. Here we can see that the customer purchased an item that is classified as children's goods. Later, when the tax is being calculated, the child item will only be charged one tax, not the PST. Finally, let's talk a bit about coupons, which sometimes use percentages. So coupons allow customers to get discounts when they present them to the cashier at the time of purchase before they pay. There are a lot of different types of discounts and special offers that people can get through coupons, such as getting a certain percentage or dollar amount taken off. Oftentimes, coupons have rules or restrictions on them. For example, some may say that you have to spend a certain amount or buy a certain amount to receive the discount, and many coupons also have expiration dates. So now let's look at some coupons and focus on the important details. This first coupon offers a discount in percentage form. There are restrictions on it in the small print, such as valid for in-store use only and limit one per customer per visit. The discount is also off of just one item, not the entire purchase. The cashier would have to apply the discount specifically to the least expensive item. It's really important for cashiers to pay attention to things like that to avoid making mistakes. These coupons offer discounts in dollar or cent form. There are some exclusions listed on these coupons, such as excludes bar soap and trial or travel size, or listing specific eligible brands. It would be important for the cashier to recognize which items are eligible based on the restrictions so that the discounts are not applied on items that don't qualify. Let's look at one more example. Here we have a coupon that offers a free item. It has the condition that the customer can only receive a free chicken sandwich if they purchase another chicken sandwich of equal or lesser value. This means that the customer can't get the free sandwich if it's the only item they're buying, or if they want to only get one other item that isn't another chicken sandwich with it. They have to at least purchase one other chicken sandwich to get one for free. On top of that, there are other restrictions, such as one coupon per order per customer, and offer expires on December 1st, 2013. So that's everything for today's video. To summarize, we looked at how to do calculations with percentages, worked with some realistic scenarios in retail, viewed ways that percentages are displayed on receipts, and talked a little more in depth about discounts, particularly with coupons. I hope you found the information in this video helpful, and if you haven't yet, be sure to check out the other numeracy videos on this channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.